Thanks to the supporters of channel member Ollie Collins. I know I've said it before and it's almost becoming a catchphrase at this point. I genuinely think these two midfielders, missing pieces of the jigsaw, this could still be our season, Mrs Wearmouth. Hello and welcome to part 137 of Homegrown. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the Premier League. As promised, we are away against Arsenal and Chelsea. That's going to be tricky, especially because we've just gone away against Manchester United and got absolutely spanked. We seem to be pretty good against the teams that aren't the top 3 or 4. But the traditional big clubs we still struggle against, even though the top 4 isn't exactly traditional big clubs. Above us, there's Leeds and Newcastle and Spurs. You know, we should be third in this league. Liverpool all the way down there, Arsenal down here, Chelsea all the way down in 15th place. They look like big games, but look at the league table. They should be potential wins for us. Since you were last with me, form has been on the rocks a little bit. We lost to Manchester United in the league. We lost to West Brom in the league. We did manage to beat Everton. We thumped Everton, in fact, but then got knocked out of the Carabao Cup by Manchester United. That was a rotated side that got absolutely battered by them in the league. It was a much closer affair, but Villalobos actually getting his first couple of goals of the season in that game is always a good sign. I did promise in the last episode Francisco would be in. You can see he did make it in. He did really well in a friendly, and then he got injured. So that's why, is he still injured? He hasn't, yeah, he's still injured. He's not going to be in today. But as mentioned to Mrs Wearmouth, we have got a couple of new boys coming in January. You can see it's Boxing Day in 2037. We are getting close to bringing in these two new boys. We've got a couple of players leaving as well. Jørn Andersen is going to be going to Augsburg for £21 million. He's 25 years old now. I know he never lets us down. He's a very adequate centre-back, but he's the 6th best at the club. When you think we've got Elias, Fazekas, Cam or Cham, however I'm supposed to say his name. Erkan is probably easier for me to say. Douglas Allen, all ahead of him, all having got game time this season. Anderson was the 6th best centre-back at the club, and we got an offer of £21 million for him. He's been a very good servant, but he has drifted out of the team over the last 18 months or so. And it was time for him to go. He was similar to Ali Basic in the summer. He had all the promise when he was younger. He did get his chance to play regularly for a few years, but then we kind of moved on from him as the next generation of, as the 18-year-old wonder kids started to come through. Because remember, the generation that Anderson and Ali Basic were in, these guys signed for us in the Championship. So these were the 18-year-olds we could get when we were a Championship side. They were never likely to be Champions League quality, whereas the ones we're bringing in now probably will be. I mean, we're showing that they will be. Enoch Abagai plays in the Champions League for Inter Milan. He plays for England. The ones we're bringing in now are a much higher level. Gregoire is now in the Media Dream 11 as part of that Arsenal team. We're bringing in a much higher calibre of youngster now than we were down in the Championship. The other player who's probably going to be leaving, Kieran Hodgkinson, he has to leave. So we've accepted a couple of offers for him. We actually put him on the transfer list to try and help him out the door. He wanted to go out on loan, but you know what? Let's get him out permanently, similar to what we did with Harrison Davies. Get him out permanently, and then as soon as he becomes a staff member, look to bring him back in again. But for now, let's get a team leader out of the way, another one gone. If we look at the hierarchy, Fazekas has moved up to being one of our team leaders. It was originally Richardson who stepped up, but he's been replaced by Fazekas. With Hodgkinson out of the way, it opens the door for someone like Oliveira. I guess Oliveira is the one you'd want to step up. He's the vice captain. He's the one who starts constantly at the moment. So he'd be a good one to step up to become a team leader. Maybe Perez, maybe Park, but I feel like neither of them have been here as long as Oliveira has been. Perisato, potentially. But I mentioned Oliveira starting regularly at the moment because we have got 2 new midfielders coming in January, or hopefully 2. We've definitely got one. Hopefully we'll get the other one confirmed as well. But the first one who's coming in is Emil Christiansen, who's an 18-year-old Norwegian midfielder. very similar to the kind that I typically buy. He's got 19 first touch and 10 tackling. He's very much a Kev, tippy-tappy central midfielder. But the difference with Emil Christensen is how good he is already. He's already Oliveira and Perez standard with potential to get better at 18 years old. This is a proper wonder kid, and I'm very excited to be bringing him in. And the other guy who should be joining us, we're just trying to finalise the deal, is David McKinnon, who's actually probably the midfielder that we need rather than the one that we want. He's a natural defensive midfield player. He's a ball-winning midfielder. He can play box-to-box midfield. He's a proper tough tackling central midfielder, 18 years old, Scottish wonder kid. So we can get him in as our 7th signing of the calendar year because he's UK national. And I think long-term, McKinnon and Christensen could end up even being our central midfield partnership if we carry on with the 4-2-3-1, have those two in midfield with Perez in front of them, and then Diaz just sort of fitting in where he fits in, and Oliveira joining the club with Ali Basic and Anderson of, yeah, he was great. He's been great, but he was didn't quite have the same potential ability when he came in because of when he came in. But that's transfer news. This is team news, and the biggest team news really is Fazekas, despite now being a team leader at the club, is kind of in the process of losing his place in the starting 11. He missed some time with another injury, which is obviously going to be a little bit of a problem. You can see he got injured there, but the important thing to note is just before he got injured, he was dropped. And he wasn't used. I mean, yeah, that's a Carabao Cup game, but I'd actually dropped him because I think Erkan is the man who's going to be partnering Elias. And if you look at their star ratings, you can see that Erkan is already level with Fazekas as a 3-star current ability player, as is Douglas Allen. Erkan's got the 5-star potential. Fazekas down to 4-star. Allen's on 4.5-star. But I think Elias and Erkan together, although they're very young, I think that might be our long-term central defensive partnership. So for now, they're the ones that we're playing together at the back, and they complement each other as well. Douglas Allen can come in as backup for Elias. You've got Elias and Douglas Allen who are very similar, and then Erkan and Fazekas who are happy playing that covering ball player role. So we've kind of got 4 very good centre-backs now who I'm happy to play any of them. It's the main reason we were so keen to sell Anderson. But I think that is big, significant news that Fazekas might be the next one to lose his place. He's 24, so he's kind of that same age group. I think he came in when we first arrived in the Premier League. But these ones who are starting to get a little bit older now, Richardson can go into that category as well, are starting to find game time harder and harder to come by. So Richardson, exactly the same age, came in the same summer. What we've got to be careful of is that we're not forever playing an under-21 side, which I would suggest we probably kind of are currently. Looking at that, I guess Oliveira is the one who's over 21 in that team. So we need some players to actually age with us and stay in the team long term. It's so difficult to do when you've always got shiny new wonder kids coming in. I don't know. Should Fazekas be a member of that defence forevermore? No, he shouldn't. It's complicated. So this is the team for the game against Arsenal. We're going with Perez in goal, a back four of Cavalic, Elias, Erkan and Thomas, Oliveira and Diaz in midfield, Jordi, Perez and Park supporting Veloso up front. Let's go to Arsenal and grab a win. They're directly below us in the league. They're definitely a team that we should at least be competitive with. If we're serious about getting back into Europe this year, if we're serious, we'll whisper it so Slam Dunk doesn't hear. But if we're serious about actually pushing into the Champions League, when we see Leeds and Newcastle occupying those spots at the moment, we feel kind of serious about pushing into the Champions League. But if that's seriously what we're aiming for, we've got to be able to come to Arsenal and pick up a result, because this is an Arsenal side who aren't consistent sort of top 4 finishes. They've got Slam Dunk in charge, for goodness sake. How good can they be? They've also got the one that got away playing up front for them. And he always scores against us. And it's always upsetting. Is Gregoire even playing for him today? Have they got Gregoire and the one that got away in their team? Because I don't want to see that. They have got Gregoire in there today as well. I love the fact that Slam Dunk still just plays the 4-4-2 that suited him so well when he was a player. Just, yeah, this is how I used to like to play. This is how I'm going to play as a manager. Never change, Slam Dunk. But please let us get a result against you today, because I fear if we lose these 2 matches in today's episode, which I guess in terms of club reputation, you would expect us to. We're away against 2 of the biggest clubs in the Premier League. You'd expect us to lose them both. But that does make Europe start to look a little bit tricky. Veloso's in there, and Veloso not quite got the same level of finishing as the one that got away had for Arsenal. Perez then with the corner, looking for that near post where Elias was hanging out, waiting for the header, but couldn't make contact with it. And that's a poor follow-up pass, doesn't find a home player, and the ball goes out of play in the highlight ends. And as it stands at the moment, we're down to 8th place outside of Europe again. And we said it last summer and kind of got away with it. We don't know if we're going to get away with it in January. We'll see what happens in January. But I do suspect if we have another season where we miss out on Europe, Park doesn't stay, surely. Park is the one that we're most afraid of leaving. Fazekas, I mean, we were worried about him in the summer, but looking at what we've got now, Fazekas, if we get an Abagay Styes offer for Fazekas, we'd probably take it at this point and just go and find another wonder kid centre-back. But Park is the kind of player that I think is potentially irreplaceable for us. We can't afford for him to go. We don't have anyone ready to come in and replace him. It's important that we get into Europe so that we can keep him. Right, Garrido. I mean, he can play there. Is Yordi going to be better in there? I think this might be the making of Yordi this second half. We're going to put Garrido out on his natural left wing, and we're going to put Yordi in there as the attacking midfielder with Perez going off, and we're going to give Yordi 45 minutes to show me that you were all right after all. He's not a winger, but put him in a creative role and he can really pull the strings in there for us. I know we've not made him the playmaker, but if he becomes good enough, he can become the playmaker. I'm not against it. We've got a box-to-box ball winner type player coming in. We could play a box-to-box midfielder and a ball winning midfielder after this episode, really, once we get McKenna in. Garrido doing very well to get into a shooting position, but the shot is straight at the Arsenal keeper, and it goes wide, and we're going to go attacking, and I've pressed the wrong button. We're gonna demand more. I think we're better than we're showing in this match. So Yordi is not taking the opportunity, is he? Park also not playing very well at all. I think that's an opportunity for Ian to come on the right-hand side. Ian, who can come on and be an inside forward. We've got 2 inside forwards on now, which is always very exciting. Have we got anyone to come on and replace Yordi? I guess we can push Oliveira forward into his natural position. Is Diaz a natural there as well? He is. So we have got other options if we bring Passotti on, or we can bring Villalobos on, who's fresh off of 2 goals in the Carabao Cup against Manchester United. The only problem is Villalobos and Veloso is a partnership that's never really worked. Apparently Veloso can play as a complete forward. We're chasing a goal. Let's get Villalobos on. He's just scored, like I say, he's just scored 2 goals in the Cup. This is his chance. This is his chance to show me that we shouldn't give up on him just yet. So we're going full attacking. 2 inside forwards, 2 strikers. We've abandoned everything that we've been working towards this season that started everything off so well with the return to the 4-2-3-1. We're back with a 4-2-4 for the first time in ages. And poor old Francisco's not a part of it because he's injured. Right, we've got a corner. It's Garrido. We need an equaliser here. I think he does find the home player initially, but Arsenal are there as well to get the ball cleared. Slam Dunk's going to get one over me again here. Ball over the top. Ian is in. Ian shoots. And was that Villalobos? Villalobos has scored again. My God. It's the redemption story we've all been waiting for. Villalobos is becoming a hero. I mean, he's scored twice. He's scored 3 times in a week. He's a little way away from hero status just yet, but he is scoring goals. He hasn't been out boozing for a little while. He only likes to go out clubbing in the summer, I've noticed. He's a proper rascal in the summer months, whereas in the winter, he tends to behave himself and play half-decent football. I do wonder if we should just send him back to Mexico every summer and just let him have his summers there, just so that he's not getting tempted by nightclubs here. What a goal from Veloso. We have turned this game on its head. What a solo effort. I mean, I don't know what the Arsenal goalkeeper's doing here. Question marks have got to be asked of him, but Veloso picks the ball up on the halfway line, turns his man, runs for a bit, and then just hits it really, really hard. It's not even gone into the corner. Lovely stuff from Veloso. These two can't play together up front, apparently. Or maybe we've got our new strike partnership that'll be together forever and ever and ever. Who knows? Let's not mess it up from here. 15 seconds remaining. Erkan to Elias. Kavalik now and Diaz. And there's a ball over the top. Villalobos is in again. He's going to add a third. He does add a third. It's Arsenal 1, Home 3. Villalobos has 4 goals in a week. And I don't know if I'm coming or going. What is going on? How is Villalobos suddenly good again? Maybe his 18 months mentoring with Kieran Hodgkinson hasn't gone well, and now he knows Hodgkinson's on his way out. He's like, oh, fantastic. That guy who I've been eating my dinner with for a year. I can finally eat my dinner with the boys again. We just beat Slam Dunk's Arsenal. And there's your confirmation that Kieran Hodgkinson has turned down Nottingham Forest and is going to go and play in Scotland for Dundee United. He will rip up the SPL for the next 3 or 4 years, I should think. It'll be lovely keeping an eye on what he gets to up there. But that's your confirmation that he's leaving as well. So we need a new team leader to step up. Perez is going to be injured for a month. And now I've got a decision to make going into this Chelsea game, especially because Oliveira's going to miss it as well. We're going back to the 4-2-4, aren't we? How do we not? We've just lost our 2 first choice attacking midfielders and our 2 strikers have hit form. I think we're going back to the 4-2-4. So in addition to going back to the 4-2-4, we've had to change the midfield up massively for this game because we've picked up injuries to Oliveira and Perez, and Diaz is not really fit to play. Francisco's still injured. Perisato's still not fit. Jose and Fazekas still not fully fit. We're short a few players. I'm glad there's 2 new boys coming in. Or I keep talking as if McKenna's a done deal. We're waiting for that one to be confirmed, but at least 1 new midfielder on his way in, because Passotti and Wally is not really a particularly inspiring central midfield combination, but we don't really have any other options. I guess we could give a league debut to Marcelo Antonio, the previous tough tackling saviour of home that we brought in, who was on loan at Hearts, but we ended up bringing him back. I'm talking myself into making that change, actually. Is he fit? He is fit. I think he might be the better option in there. Let me just have a little look. I mean, he's as good as anybody else. The other option would be the latest off the production line, who I don't think I've introduced you to yet. But Jack Bedwell is another one who came through our youth academy. He's been in and around the first team squad this year. His potential isn't quite what we'd want it to be, but current ability-wise, pretty solid. And he's been playing in Carabao Cup games for us this year. And he is another one who has got a tackle on him. So we've got 2 potential options. I think it's Wally I'm probably going to take out the side, which is a little bit harsh on him. But he's another one of that generation, isn't he? I keep talking about that generation of players. The Alibasic, Anderson, and I guess Wally goes into the same category. 23 years old now, only 3-star potential. He's never going to be a Champions League player, is he? Despite the fact he's always shown... He's basically our Jesse Lingard. We're going to be talking about him having potential and breaking into the team soon when he's 30. But at 23, he never really has. So let's give up on him. So flippant. Let's give up on him. Let's finish his career. We're going to bring Marcelo, Antonio in to play alongside Passotti, who, to be fair, Passotti is hanging on by a thread as well. It is almost a shout to play Bedwell and Antonio together, but probably not ideal to give them both their Premier League debuts at the same time. I am going to put Wally on the bench if I can find where I've just put him. He can come onto the bench at the expense of AD Lillis. It's a little bit harsh on AD Lillis, but guess what? He's another one. He's another one who's not quite going to make that breakthrough, I don't think. So Antonio on his debut, Passotti is in, Villalobos is in. We're looking for a performance similar to how we played in the last 15 minutes or so of the game against Arsenal. I had a closer look at Villalobos and Veloso. They can both play complete forward on attack just as well as they can play advanced forward, supposedly, according to their star ratings. Villalobos is either-footed. Veloso is right-footed. So I do wonder if I'm playing him the right way round, because I've got Veloso on the left playing as the complete forward and Villalobos on the right playing as the advanced forward. And I think Veloso is slightly quicker than Villalobos as well. So they should probably be the other way around, but they scored 3 goals against Arsenal this way round. So they start today this way round. If it doesn't work, we can switch them around. We've also got Juan Jose who can come on, and he's a proper natural complete forward. And it probably should be him with one of them if we're going to do it properly, with one of them coming off the bench. But we're not doing things properly. We are, however, 1-0 down after a minute and a half. And that's with Kavalik making a decent tackle as well. And the game has just disappeared off my screen. That was weird, because my screen went black, but yours didn't, I don't think. I glanced over at where OBS is recording. I don't think you lost the game feed. I must have a loose HDMI cable or something, because I just got a black... It's back now, but that was weird. That was very weird. Right, we are going to drop a demand more, and I'm tempted to go attacking because it was the attacking instruction where we looked so good against Arsenal, although Villalobos has won a penalty here to continue his little purple patch of form that he's in at the moment. The ref's just checking. Surely it's going to be a penalty, though. It's inside the area. It's definitely a foul. Passotti is not the man I want to take. I didn't get to change player quickly enough, although I do remember Passotti scoring penalties for us before. So maybe he's just a natural, very, very good penalty taker, because he's just taken a very good penalty again. Chelsea won, home won. I guess we don't go attacking just yet because we've got ourselves back into the game. That is a very good penalty. Goodness me. I had him on the chopping block a minute ago, and now we've seen that he can take penalties like that. I'm thinking, oh, maybe we give him a little bit more of an opportunity, although he's got his successor as a squad spot alongside him, the guy who's brought in to play as our defensive midfield option, young, exciting Brazilian. I'm surprised he doesn't tackle his own teammate and try and injure him so that he's not there to take his spot. It's like the Spider-Man meme going on in central midfield at the moment, although Antonio knows he's better than Passotti. That is a big miss for Chelsea. Stuff like that, probably why they're down in 15th place in the league. That was definitely a low morale miss, because there's no way a player of the quality of any player who's in this Chelsea team, they're going to have very high quality players. There's no way they miss an opportunity like that. They at the very least force a save. Right, Thomas with the headed clearance, looking for Park, but doesn't find him, although Park using his strength to just muscle the Chelsea defender off the ball there. That was lovely stuff from Park. He is a big, strong boy, as he just showed there. It's one of the reasons why we love him so much, because of that power that he's got alongside the pace and the ability. Just get out of my way. I'm having that football. Kavalik, that was the one game away from the suspension message I think we just got there, but he was the one player in the starting 11 who wasn't fully fit, so we are keeping an eye on him. Antonio was a bit slow getting back to that. He got there in the end and then played a poor ball forward. I think we just had Marcelo Antonio exposed there twice, and I don't think he's going to be finishing the game for us. Wally is likely to be coming on unless Antonio, his distribution is not that hot, is it? Todd Thomas trying to get into a crossing position. He does. Yordi's there, and Yordi scores. A 4th goal of the season for him as he's starting to settle into this home side now. Lovely header from Yordi. Chelsea 1, home 2. We've turned this game around, boys and girls, but we do need to keep an eye particularly on Kavalik and Antonio, who are the 2 players I am a little concerned about at the moment. The game is more concerned about Park, who, I mean, he's played for a player who regularly has to go off because he's tired. This is our 2nd game in 3 days. I'm not surprised that that Park is not going to make it to the end of this match. Question marks there about whether that goal's crossed the line. It hasn't, so let's not worry about it. We're going to make a triple change here. We're going to take off Park. Juan Jose can come on for him. In fact, forget Juan Jose coming on for him. Ian's going to come on for him. We're going to get Ian on. Get him on there playing as an inside forward again, because it looked good in the last game. We've got to take Kavalik off. Fazekas can come on for him. And then for my final change, I really feel like we should probably take off Antonio. I think he's had enough debut now. I'd much rather freshen up the attack or take Todd Thomas off, but I've got to be sensible. Based on what I've just seen, we've got to get Wally on in that midfield to steady the ship a little bit. And I think it really does emphasise we need these two new central midfielders that are going to be coming in. Obviously, we've got 3 central midfielders missing from the team today, so it's not quite as bad as this match indicates it is. But we could certainly do with the injection of new young talent into central midfield. And I tell you what, boys and girls, I did not start recording this video anticipating 2 wins, but 2 wins is exactly what we've delivered. And at the halfway point of the season, with 2 new players in key positions on their way, we're in a Champions League spot. I told Mrs Wearmouth this was going to be our season. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.